So the look of this that I want to do is cat eye. I don't do eyeliners on me anymore. I do like more of like the natural look on me now. But back then I used to do the cat eye all the time. Like the little line right here, like your water eye, and then so because I just feel like, I don't know, like it's just, I feel like I have too much now. Thing is that I'm gonna go ahead and with the Tarte Double Duty Beauty concealer, and to be honest, I don't know, I think I just need to have someone to match my skin color, because I don't like when this underneath this area is white. I prefer it to be kind of like a yellowish color, and I feel like every single time that I go and ask them, they give me colors that are too white for me. And I'm not gonna lie, usually I will exfoliate before I do like get ready, like full glam, but I didn't exfoliate this time. So is the makeup gonna look flawless? I don't think so. I feel like maybe I put too much. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead with my Tarte. Is it Tarte? The little brush that it came with. This one right here. Concealer brush. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tap it fast, because this one kind of dries fast. And yeah, I forgot to put some on my eyelid. Then go ahead and tap it. My kids have been literally very much been attached to me lately. I feel like my daughter requires me to spend more time with her now, and she doesn't really let me film videos as much before anymore. And so it's been like, if you're a mom, you understand that it takes even a lot to like get ready sometimes, like especially if you're a stay-at-home mom. And obviously now that my boyfriend, he has been working a lot more, it's like I'm with my daughter more. Not that I wasn't before, but I had more of his help. But now he'll be working like 9 hours a day, sometimes even 10. So it sucks, you know, at times. But I am very grateful that he has a job, which that was something that I was praying for him to have a job. And so like, who am I to complain now? I do feel a lot more tired now because I don't have his help as much when it comes to the kids. And so it is what it is. You always have to sacrifice something, and that's fine. Oh my god, I think I put too much. But yeah, that's why last week and the week before I haven't really been posting, because of that reason, because I feel like my kids are requiring me to have more attention. My daughter doesn't let me. She's always like, mommy, mommy. Like if I'm doing something else, she'll grab my face. If I'm even talking to some family member, she'll grab my face and she'll be like, mommy, mommy, mommy. I put this on and I'm supposed to do my eyeshadow first. I'm gonna start with my eyeshadow, and my eyeshadow is gonna be very dark. Not dark, but you know. So I'm gonna go ahead with this palette. I love this palette, by the way. This is like an old Tarte Tilette in Bloom. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh wait, I used the wrong one to start. Okay. Anyways, I've been into very spooky stuff lately. If you know anything about me, I love watching conspiracy theories. If they're even conspiracy theories, because a lot of them I do believe. But I started following this guy on TikTok that I really enjoy his videos. He basically talks about him being a Freemason. Well, not he wasn't a Freemason, but he was basically born in that type of family. And he talks about how his parents are Freemasons. I think they build buildings. Okay, they build buildings, right? They're like architectures, but like, and if you didn't know, okay, like all those buildings in major cities, the Freemasons have built them. Which I know it sounds crazy, okay? It sounds like, oh my god, like you're crazy, Fabi. If you don't know what Freemasons are, I would suggest you looking it up what that club does. And there's different clubs from what I've seen. And so this guy, he talks about how his parents, like, they build buildings. They rebuild buildings. I don't know if that makes any sense. But I was so curious because I don't know if you guys noticed. This is when I started to get curious about buildings. In downtown LA, there's buildings that have like demons and weird creatures on their buildings. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, why would they have that, on the buildings? And then I went to Pasadena, and a lot of them also have buildings with demons on them. Which to me, it's like, why do they have that much fascination with like demons? Like, why do we have that fascination? Even like MTV, like music awards, like it's always devil or like something behind it, like different symbols. And if you don't know what a lot of those symbols are, basically they talk through symbols. That's what they are. Numerology and things like that. And so to them, that's very important, like numerology and symbols. Not everything is a coincidence, everything has a purpose. And so this guy, he talks about those buildings and what those demons mean. Guys, yesterday I was able to talk better, but now it's like I don't even know how to speak. Like, Greek gods are evil. They're not good people, and people that pray to those gods it's not a good thing. And they have that a lot in like a lot of buildings, museums. Like they have these statues of like, and I don't know how to explain this because, dude, I went into this rabbit hole of trying to understand what this guy was saying, right? But the thing that I loved about him was the fact that he just, when people were coming at him, he would come up with facts, okay? Like straight up facts. If you go and look it up, he's absolutely right. This guy, basically, he just kept shutting people off. Like, like he kept coming in with facts and things like that. Like he knew how to explain everything so well, but for some reason I can't really explain it because apparently I don't know how to talk. But it talks about like Noah's flood, that there's a reason why. Like, do you ever wonder how buildings are created? Like, that's something that I always wondered. I'm like, how is this holding up, right? How are these buildings holding up? But you know why? Because there was buildings underneath those buildings. And apparently a lot of these Masonic people, they are trying to hide the truth and pretend that Jesus didn't come on this earth. Like, they think, okay, they're trying to make us think that Jesus came to earth many years ago, but in reality it happened not too long ago, which is so crazy to me. Okay, like they're trying to rewrite history for control and to predict the future, basically. That's what they're doing. And so all those buildings that you see, also the thing that tripped me out, let me tell you something. This guy lives in New York City, right? So there's so many old buildings in New York City, but there's some that are indestructible. Some buildings that he talks about, they're indestructible, and it's because he says that the fallen angels were the ones that created those buildings, and that's why they're weather approved. Nothing can happen to those two buildings because they the fallen angels basically created those buildings. And that gave me the creep, because if you go in downtown LA, these big major cities, they have weird symbols. If you actually pay attention to what those symbols are, it's like, why would they have them here? And so he says that in New York City they have war devils, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because 9/11 happened in New York City. And so it just makes you, like, again, this sounds freaking crazy, but trust me, if you go down that rabbit hole, you'll understand, because I get it, but I don't know how to explain it, okay? You just have to watch his videos, because this guy is just like so good at explaining everything, the purpose of every symbol, why they use that symbol, and so forth. And I just never really took the time to really I guess understand. Like, to me it was just like, oh, Noah's Ark, like Noah's flood, sorry, like whatever, like it happened. Like, took the time to be like, well, what did happen when Noah flooded the whole world and wiped out everything, basically, for new humanity, right? New people. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I think I understand myself. And so so bad. But I was very intrigued, and last night I kept watching his videos, all of them, and I cannot wait until he posts another video, because they're so interesting. I love learning about history now, but the true history, like conspiracy theories. And I hate that they call them that, because a lot of people come with straight up facts. Like, people don't really ask themselves these questions, like, why are they putting these symbols? Like, why are they so into all these satanic symbols? Like, people are like, oh, it looks cool because it looks cool, but it's like, no, there has to be a bigger meaning behind all these symbols. Like, there isn't, like, nothing's a coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason. And when you look up, like, what, like the Freemasons, basically, there's a club called 33, and those are the higher people, the people like presidents, you know, CEOs that are like really high up there. Probably John Bezos, well, freaking the Tesla guy, and what's his other name? Steve Jobs. And all these higher up people, right? People that have power, that are billionaires. You don't just get up there for nothing, basically. And so, it's really interesting to me to learn about buildings right now, because something about me, I love cities. I love the city. I love downtown LA, even though there's a bunch of homeless people there. I always wanted to go to New York City, but it's because of the buildings. It's not because I want to party, but I just love looking at architecture, I guess. Learn that creepy and dark side of it. Not that it's like, even though I got scared after he was basically saying all these things, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little scared, you know what I mean? Watching those videos. But then I have to remind myself that God has me. Like, He's got me. And also, He talks about our DNA. Okay, if you ever go look at those old churches, they have this little thing, like this circle right here, like in the middle of the church. And I think he talks about how Harvard, or like one of those, they discovered what our DNA looks like. But these churches were there long before Harvard, was created or whatever. And it's like, okay, like, how does that happen then? Why are these buildings basically have, like, basically a picture of our DNA on these freaking glass? And I don't know, like, it's so crazy. You have to look at those videos because I can't really explain to you, but it's creepy. And you just kind of have to ask yourself a question, like those questions, like, why do we, like, because people don't really care about buildings, right? Especially like in big cities, they don't really care. All those symbolisms are in big cities, everywhere, all around the world. They have symbolisms. It's not just the United States, but it's in every part of the world, which is scary. He talks about how giants, like, that's why there's evidence that giants existed back in the day. And there's one area which I don't think they allow you to get into at the Grand Canyon, but there's evidence that the Noah's flood happened. And I'm going to go to the Grand Canyon actually in November with my family, which I'm very excited because I live in Arizona and I still haven't gone to the Grand Canyon. And yeah, yesterday that's what I was learning, like, and it's just kind of creepy. And I don't know about you, but certain buildings just freak me the hell out, especially like, well, the only big city that I've gone through, like, I actually looked around and see a lot more of is downtown LA. All the other cities like San Diego, I remember San Diego too, it had some creepy ass buildings with demons. But again, it's all around the world, it's not just downtown LA. But obviously because I lived most of my life in downtown LA, well, like in LA, not downtown LA, but in LA, that's why I feel like I know that area a lot better. I'll give you guys a little story, like a little creepy story that, it's not really a creepy story, it's just like I got this weird vibe. And it's every time I go to Hollywood, every single time that I go to Hollywood, I would always get this creepy vibe. I don't know why. And in LA as well. I don't know why. Hollywood and LA, downtown LA, it always gave me a weird vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but that's just what it is. Or any major city. I love looking at buildings though. I do love the city because I love looking at the view. But now that I learned like what those buildings kind of represent, it's just like, I don't know, it just kind of gave me the creepy vibes. But anyways, in the year in 2021, me and my boyfriend, my current boyfriend, we had broken up, right? We broke up, I believe, in February or March, early March. And so I had to find a place to live. Around this time I was working 2 jobs already because I had to get a second job so that I can afford to go and live by myself. So I was working at BJ's and then I started working at NBC's sports bar and Universal Studios City Walk. And it was brand new at the time. So I had to find a place kind of close by. So I was looking around a lot in Hollywood Boulevard, I think. Kind of by like the Griffith Observatory, but like the ghetto side. Like, yeah, that's what I could afford a lot more. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't get the place that I was looking at. But I was just excited to have a place of my own so that I can take care of my son and myself, you know. So I came to go look at this place, and Hollywood. And I kid you not, like, that place gave me the heebie-jeebies. Like, something bad had happened there. I don't know what, but the person basically said that it was an old building. It was in the 50s. So that building, they rebuilt it, and they had a lot of, like, Marilyn Monroe, like, they have the checkered floors too, black and white, which again, that's another symbol. If you don't know what that is, look it up. That's another symbol, right? And so, I don't know, but this was before I knew all about that stuff, like the Illuminati, and so I got scared, you know, like I don't know, I just got this weird feeling that I'm like, I'm kind of glad that I didn't get that apartment. Like, I went to the studio and then I went to the 1-bedroom. I wanted the 1-bedroom, obviously, because it was gonna be me and my son, and it was gonna be, I think, like 1,500, like the rent, or 1,600. I felt my rent, and it wasn't in the best area, but around that area, something just felt off. I don't know what it is, and whenever I tell this to people, like I would tell my coworkers that that place always gave me the heebie-jeebies. I wasn't the only one, because these people that I met on my job, like NBC sports bar, that they would get the same vibe. And I noticed my coworker's face. She got scared whenever I would tell her about my experience. She didn't want to really tell me her experience as well, but it was something that, because she lived in Hollywood as well, a lot of my coworkers did. I was the one that like lived far away. I was living in San Gabriel at the time, and but I was trying to find a place like in between Glendale and Hollywood, like basically North Hollywood. And North Hollywood, obviously, it's a lot more expensive than, you know, Hollywood Boulevard, like around kind of like where it's kind of ugly and ghetto, I guess. And I just wanted a little safe area, obviously, because of my son. I didn't want to live like somewhere where it's like ugly and stuff like that. That building though, you know how you have apartments that are like, the apartments are outside, if that makes sense. In this building, it was an inside building, so my apartment was inside a building, which that creeped me out, because when I went, there wasn't no like security or anything like that, and everything was very dark. Checkerboards, like hardly any windows inside the building. I don't think they even have any windows, if I'm being honest. But they had pictures of these old celebrities there, and like Marilyn Monroe, like around that time. And then they had a library downstairs, which I don't know. There was something off. Okay, let me tell you. I'm glad I found his page, because now I have something to look forward to on the internet. To see what he talks about next. He talks about buildings a lot, and he knows a lot because, again, his parents are like Freemasons. I forgot what degree or what, but there's different levels to them, you know. And I truly believe that once you're in the high level, like the 33 level, that's when you know all the dark secrets of history, like the real history, and the things that they don't want us to find out, you know. And so that's something that, it's scary, but it's also not scary, because God is real, you know. God is real. And I don't know, like I know a lot of people, whenever you talk about this stuff, they think of you like, this girl's crazy, like, you know, because I even talk about this stuff with my family, and they're like, okay, Fabi, like, well, what, what can we do? And literally there's really nothing that we can do. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeliner. Okay, I messed up this side. I think I got it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead with my eyeliner. Cute. Okay, now I am going to put some glitter, and I want something like silver, so I'm gonna go ahead with this one by Huda Beauty palette Mercury, and the shade, what is it, Nebula. And I'm gonna put it right here on my eye, on the top. You see that? Kind of like it. This is a very witchy vibes. I don't like this mirror. I prefer this little one. That is my makeup, how it looks. What do you guys think? So this is what it looks like. Doesn't look perfect, but I haven't done my makeup in a very long time, so bear with me. I love it. Okay, so I actually wanted to paint my nose purple. Okay, let me try it out on my hand to see how it'll look. It's like if I did magic or something and I, like, you know, like the spell landed on my nose. I guess I just have to practice. But did you get the vision? Like this, basically. That I just finished doing some spells and I got all those spells on my face, basically. So I'm gonna be practicing a little bit more on that. I think I'm probably just gonna do like a line. But this is how my makeup looks. I'm gonna be a witch. Just picture me with the witch hat and a dress, like a cute dress. But I think I'm gonna do next time like just a little bit more like purpley. Bye. But yeah. Bye. This is how it looks. And I'm not supposed to be a perfect witch, okay? She's supposed to be messy and like she just finished doing some spells. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.